Okay, I think all good. Yes, welcome everyone. My name is Kai Ning. I'm from the Courage chapter. So I think just do a quick introduction to you before we hand over the time to Larissa. For those who don't know us, the Courage chapter is a platform based in Singapore. We help senior professionals to transition to their next chapter through meaningful projects with companies. Right, so the companies we work with span across various industries. Right, we have MNCs like Unilever International. We have SMEs and also charity sector. And we work with these organizations to carve out opportunities that suit the life stage and also maximize the experience of experienced professionals like yourself. And we also help to build your skill sets for the future of work as well. So you can check out our website here on the slide, www.thecouragechapter.com. And I think today we are very happy to be collaborating with Unilever for the third year on innovative resourcing projects, right? Like the Value In, Value Out project. So I would like to invite Larissa, who is the Digital CHRO of Unilever International, to take the stage and share more about herself and this program, which is a pretty special program, if I might say so myself. And feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll get to it along the way as well. Yeah, so I think I'll hand the time over to Larissa.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Canning. You can hear me well?
Yes, quite well,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So my name is Larissa. I hope it's not so noisy in the background. I'm joining you from a restaurant right now. So I'm actually in a digital conference in Dubai. I have been the last 16 years in Unilever. This is my 16th year now. Just started 3 years, have been the HR leader for Unilever International, which is a global business unit, one of the fastest growing, high pace, high bias for action, very entrepreneurial. Most people will describe the culture as very addictive, fast and furious, but also a little bit chaotic. Let me also put here the truth on the table, right? As a startup culture is. So you will have all kinds of elements there, but they will be the first ones on the forefront when it comes to social first marketing, digital marketing, e-commerce platforms, digitization of supply chain, automation of finance. So whatever is an innovative accelerator, they will actually move to that much faster than the rest of Unilever. I personally enjoy very much working in this business unit because it means a lot of freedom and empowerment in the HR space. So this program, for example, the rest of Unilever will not have. I, to be honest, have not gone to the London Center and asked if I can do it. We have just decided that this would be something that will add a lot of value. And so we are partnering with Kai-Ning actually on finding the right talent. The idea of the program, and Kai-Ning will talk through it later, was actually born when I met with lots of people in the market who said, I'm right now going through a transition. I'm leaving my current job, but I don't know yet what I'm going to do in the future. But I would love to continue being part of a team. I would love to work on something completely different. I want to try something new. I've never worked in supply chain, but I want to find out, is that an area I want to add value, or I have a huge passion for, I don't know, finance or digital, and hence I want to get involved. Also people who said, look, I never worked in your industry or in a big company like Unilever, and hence for me, this is an opportunity to learn something new. So there's lots of different reasons, and people would say, but look, because I'm also now in that age group, right? Because I'm in my 40s, for example, people will not take me on for 2 to 3 months or for 6 months. They will only consider me for fixed jobs. They will not give me an opportunity to enter an area which is not my background, because they would say, well, you worked all of your life, in my case, for example, in HR. Why do you now want to explore finance? It doesn't make sense, right? So you would be disqualified. So people said, look, I would actually enjoy a program where I can explore, I can add value, but I can also value up my profile, right? And so that is how this idea for the program was born. I let Kai-Ning talk through the remaining slides, and then I will add in from time to time stories. You can ask me at the end whatever you like. But the idea of that program is really to bring in a different type of talent, to try out something new, to work with people on a more fractional basis, also knowing that now the global trends is going there. I just learned a statistic in the US by 2030, I think 29% of the people will be working completely fractional. So I think this is also a trend we wanna try out and see how would this be working for us, and also how is it working for the talent. And hopefully the program will be a big success. Okay, I hope I covered everything, Kai-Ning. If there's anything else you want me to cover, let me know. Maybe you want me to speak about Unilever International a little bit more. It's a 1.3 billion business. They have an ambition to be 5 billion by 2030. It is an end-to-end business unit, so you will have their teams of sales, marketing, finance, supply chain, a little bit of HR, comms, and legal, but less bigger teams. They are in 46 different countries. This program, we are now starting in Singapore, but we are thinking to expand it. Most of the roles which we are doing have a global scope or more regional scope. So you will not be in one country, you will work with many different nationalities. We have over 50 different nationalities. The culture, as I said, is much more entrepreneurial, less hierarchical, less layers. So hence also someone who would be coming in, and for example, I have right now someone on my team who is more senior than me. So she is on my team working as an HR business partner, but actually has more senior experience than me. So she works actually as my right hand. So it's very little hierarchical, actually, the environment. And you will have professionals from all types of areas of Unilever with different backgrounds, but also from external, from some of the cutting edge companies like, I don't know, Netflix, TikTok, right? Down to what I would say a Unilever veteran like me. I have been 16 years here, but there's people who have been 30 years there, right? High variety. You will have all kinds of generations. We just had one program where we brought in a lot of digital interns. So they are all in their 20s. And so you will have high variety of generations in the workforce as well. So, okay, I will hand over to Kai-Ning so she can talk us through the case studies, but I hope this gave you enough context.
Right. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, so I think I'll bring everyone through some context on what we have done over the past 2 years with Unilever. So this is 2024. We call it the UI Returnship Program. So back then when we started in 2024, Larry is very progressive and she said, let's try this thing out. We started with a very small number, so 4 people. We got 4 people in. 3 of them were business coaches, high performance biz coaches for the CMO, the CFO, and the head of sales. So you can notice in this photo, I think some of them were from JP Morgan, from Microsoft, etc. These were different industries that were not FMCG, but we think that their functional experience could add a lot of flavor to them relating to the CXOs in Unilever, and we partnered them up with them and their teams as well. And we also brought in a lady from procurement. So she was a head of procurement in her previous company. And then she supported on procurement projects on a 3-day per week basis in Unilever. So that's the origin story in 2024. And I think we were very inspired by the success of this program. And in 2025, this year, we actually expanded the program to be even bigger. We expanded to different roles as well, including marketing, digital, HR, comms, as well as coaching as usual. Right. So I think altogether there were 12 professionals who came in and out of Unilever running different projects this year. Right. So for example, with marketing, we had some of them come in to run campaigns for home care category. Some of them even did marketing in the metaverse, right, which is very interesting. So they brought in their functional knowledge into Unilever, and they also learned something about the digital piece, right? Which then maybe Larry later can share a bit about her vision for the value in, value out program as well. So I think we really enjoy leveraging on the experience of our professionals, but we also understand that in the future of work, there are many things that we can pick up along the way, and Unilever hopes to be a place where they can also help to upskill you as a professional. So it has to have two-way value as well. Yeah, for digital, we managed to get in an senior tech person to come in and support the CTO with strategy and digital projects. So that is really well, and his contract keeps being extended, and then now he's on a 12-month contract with Unilever International. We also have comms people, for example, helping the UI CEO with publicity, as well as some internal comms projects. And of course, coaching as well, high performance coaches for the CXOs and the head of functions. Yep. All right. So now maybe I hand the time over back to Larry to share a bit about the UI Value In, Value Up program in 2026. Maybe Larry, you share a bit about your vision, like why you thought that this would be an interesting program to run. Maybe talk a little bit about your AI and digital background, because I think it's something that you're very passionate about.
Yeah. No, and I think you shared the programs we have done before, which were all pilots and trials, right? The returnship, for example, which is for people who have retired and now want to come back for the workforce for 2-3 days. We were trying that out because there's lots of biases out there, right? Which, if someone is retired, they are not adding value anymore to the workforce and so on. And we wanted to break these biases in the minds of people. I think about fractional work, similar biases exist. So let's say, if I would lose tomorrow my job, all of a sudden my amazing title would mean nothing. And so in the eyes of a society, I would move from being a superstar to being a no one, right? And so I find this always interesting because in the end, you're still the same person, right? You still have the same skills, same abilities. But now because a company is not giving you anymore a certain title in the eyes of an organization, you are not that valuable anymore. So what I said is with this program, I want to break that mindset of people actually deciding to, I want to leave my corporate job, for example. I want to do something different. I want to transition to something. Maybe I'm unemployed right now and I cannot find a job right away, but I want to be part of a company because I want to form part of a team. I want to do something whilst I'm looking for my next job, right? So I wanted to give people an opportunity to add value, to come to an organization with their experience, their different viewpoint. It is also good for my business because they honestly have said to me, look, it's great to have interns, Larry, but it would be also great to have someone who is already much more experienced, who can come in, pick up things faster and so on. So we have in the team a variety of talents. And the third piece is that for me personally, I tried it now on my team. That person which I talked about, her name is Denise. I also just wrote about her on my LinkedIn profile. It was really helpful for me as a leader to have that person on my side to help me manage through a very difficult transition and transformation of my HR team. So I truly felt there's huge value of having her. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to have her forever, right? So I will not be able to have the position always. But hence, for me, not having anyone, but having versus having someone for a certain amount of time was very valuable. So hence, we sought to create now projects in different functions. So marketing, there will be also some people in human resources, some positions in CD, which is customer development or business development, how we call it, supply chain. There could be something in CD operations and CD processes, finance, legal, communications. Potentially, we have a digital team as well. So there is no limit to that. So if you say, oh, I'm not seeing a team here I would like to be part of, then please ask. The Unilever or universe normally is very broad. So you can definitely ask for that. In terms of engagement, yes, this is a fractional job. Without the bias of fractional is something less valuable than a person who is full-time, right? So we want to break this and say people can add value in that way, and it can be valuable for people. I had, when I brought in the person on my team, actually lots of people saying, but how come, Larry, she's more experienced than you? How would you have someone on your team who is more experienced? She's too senior or overqualified for the job. Her salary must be higher than what we can afford. Are you sure she will do the operational day-to-day work and get her hands dirty because she was a vice president before, right? All of these kinds of biases came in, which I want to break in the minds of people, because once I said, no, I have no doubts about it. I discussed with her, she wants to do it. She knows that in HR, same as me, I also need to do operational work, right? This will be part of it, but that is a part of the mindset, especially when you join a startup, I would say, is there will be strategic work and there will be operational work. We will have some AI training for those people. So what we thought, it would be great if those who participate in the program, you have an opportunity to upskill yourself. AI is the hot topic right now, or digital training. So we thought that might be a good idea. We also will give some external training. There is a specific compensation which we are offering, which obviously, as you can see, this is not the compensation of a full-time equivalent, right? Because one is, it is for less time, and it is a program where we are creating a win-win situation where you benefit as well as the organization benefits. You can learn from a lot of people, from the projects you have. You can take advantage of the training. You're part of a fantastic brand as Unilever. But we also benefit from bringing someone in at a price that is affordable for us, and gaining lots of insights from the experience you have. So we want to create a win-win situation. Idea is to have the project for 4 to 6 months. Now, if one of you says, hey, I want to come 3 months, okay, fine, let's talk about it, right? Ideally, it's more that time frame, but we are not that fixed about it. And then start date would be in January. And then, yes, I talked a little bit about the culture. So I normally say to people I hire, look, one first question is, do you like WhatsApp? If you don't like WhatsApp, don't come. This organization works on WhatsApp. So you will form part of many WhatsApp groups. If that gives you anxiety when you wake up in the morning and you have messages, it will be difficult to survive in this organization. It is a very agile and dynamic environment. So it is the opposite of, and I don't want to generalize, but potentially a Singaporean government organization, right? Where things are function in a very certain process, much more structured, much more ordered. It's much more predictable. Given that you work with so many different characters, you will agile adapt to situations. People will be more dynamic, more flexible around timings. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? So if you like to start at 8, finish at 5, everything happens in a predictable way, you potentially will be a bit upset every day, because there will be people who gonna and I'm German, right? So I love to work in a more structured way. So this assignment has really taught me to be much more agile and flexible. A digital first mindset. Yes, we want people who want to upskill themselves digitally and who constantly ask themselves, could I do this faster by using an AI? Could I do this in a better way by using a technology? So we want people who actually have that switched on. You're very proactive and independent. Given that this is a very empowering environment, you potentially will not have a boss who is going to say all the time, yeah, now you do this, now that, and so on. And there's also no punishment for doing something. For example, you will do it completely differently than I would expect, or something happens, it didn't go so well. This is not an organization which punishes people for failure, I saw. So small mistakes are easily adjusted, and but we value people who move forward and lead proactively. Willingness to roll up your sleeves, you have talked about it, and being resourceful and very collaborative. No? Okay. Anything else, Kenny, on this slide?
Yeah, so I think we have one more slide which is talking about the whole process. So I see some questions coming in as well. So let's cover those things. I think Hassan was asking, is it 2 days a week? Is it full time in the office? Any fixed days? Any engagement required over the weekends? I can take a step at it and Larry can add on. I think Unilever is a pretty flexible organization. There are, I think, certain teams who say that, you know, they agree as a team that they come back on Monday and Wednesday, for example. Then it's best practice to, you know, just follow the team. But conventionally, there is no hard and fast rule on how many days that you have to appear in the office. Engagement required over the weekend. I think UI now has implemented quite a strict, like, no work on weekend or no texting on weekend policy. I think the CEO implemented this a couple of years back. But Larry can add on a little bit, you know, on the work culture maybe.
Yeah, so I think on weekends, there's no expectation that you work, and you need to, let's say someone contacts you on a weekend, you would simply not, you will kindly say to a person, hey, it's a weekend, I come back to you on Monday, for example, but there's no expectation. There's no WhatsApp on weekends, so we don't expect that. days from the office is also quite flexible. Look, you're an adult. I treat my employees like an adult. So you know when to come to the office because there's important meetings. You meet a stakeholder. You need to build trust, a relationship. And you know, today I have just online meetings with people from abroad. So, okay, I can do it from home, right? So there's not really a hard rule to that, I would say. But you will see the offices are stunning, to be honest. The Singapore offices are really beautiful. The environment is very nice. So I have lots of people coming to the office, but yeah, it's completely up to you.
Yeah, great. And there's another question from Agnes on how many packs are we looking to hire? I think this one is really on a demand needs basis. So we've actually opened up to all the teams on what are their functional demands, and we are collecting them along the way. So it's also a bit of a rolling basis, right? Where when as you apply, then we would also take a look at your profile and then send the relevant managers your profile as well. So we aspire to start all the projects by January, but some managers, maybe their demand comes in February, for instance, then we would not be opposed to that. We would then take it and then we would filter out the appropriate applicants and send them over as well. So even if there is no specific projects right now, our recommendation is that you can still send us your profile in case you want to be considered for UI, and then we would along the way contact you if there's any relevant projects. Another question is this in SG? Yes, this is a Singapore-based project for now. In future, like what Larry said, it might be expanded to other countries, but right now this project is based in Singapore. Any age group preferred? Yes, this program is open to people 40 and above. Alrighty, I think yeah, so I think a lot of the questions are very role specific, but I think that one we would see you as an applicant first before we reach out on the projects. Yeah. Does the person need to match based on his or her background, experience, or education, or can he or she explore other functions? Of course, I think your skill sets have to be transferable. So we're not saying that if you come from one function, you must match into that specific function, but we do look out for transferable skills. So of course, you do have a bit of an advantage if you used to be from that function, or you can at least communicate what is the transferability of your skills based on the projects that we have as well. Alrighty, let's see.
I think also depends a little bit on the lineage of the project, right? So in my case, for example, I will be looking for 2 people in HR. One person I'm thinking, for example, could help us to build all of the agents we require for HR in the Microsoft 365, right? Now, you might not know how to build an agent, but you want to learn it, right? And this is not the hardest coding skill here, right? So if someone says, hey, I love that, to be honest, if you have worked in HR, for me, it's not so relevant. So if you say, no, this is something I want to do, I want to upskill myself on how to build agents, how to build a good framework. For example, we need to build in a framework which governs then. How do you create org designs where you will have humans and agents on it, for example, right? Now, is it helpful that you have org design experience? Is it helpful that you know what areas are in HR? Yeah, but I think you could also upskill yourself, right? So I think it will depend on the head of the department. For supply chain, my assumption is, or finance, that they will look for someone who has some background in this. But I think if you can make a good case why you want to work in this area, I think it's possible.
Yeah, Larry, actually, if you don't mind, you can speak to a little bit of some examples of how how you envision like a digitally enabled organization to be in various functions as well. Like how do you see it? Like how do people integrate the AI into this piece, right? Because now it's a very exciting new topic.
So to be honest, I think all of us need to upskill on this. I don't have the magic list of take these trainings, do exactly this, because this doesn't exist today, right? I think everyone, depending on our professional background right now, need to explore how do I make myself future fit? How do I integrate this much more in my day-to-day? And you are actually the best person to do it, right? So you know your job best or your profession best. So you know what tools actually helpful and what is just nice AI talk, right? So hence when it comes to AI, yes, I have done some theoretical studies. So I'm just finishing actually my Chief AI Officer course with NUS. And so at the end, you have to write a 30-page assignment and so on. This is all great. But as long as it stays in that theoretical part, I don't see the value so much. Hence, I said, okay, I'm going to create an AI hub for UI. I will work with someone and so on. I don't know if this thing will see the light, but I at least have practically done something in that area. So I think all of us need to upskill in that area. And that's also the idea of that program. How can I bring someone who potentially you don't know anything about AI today, but you have the ambition to know. And hence, I will potentially, yes, I will give you some training, some base and so on, because Unilever has that ability. But potentially you will sit down and say, hey, let me research and let me see what are the best tricks on how to build an agent and how have other organizations done it. And let me check what other HR organizations have as agents, whatever, right? So that's going to be part of your job, and that will help you to upskill yourself. So for me, a digitally or AI enabled organization will be an organization where you have three layers. One is people will use it for workplace efficiency. So they will create their current work time in a more efficient way. And that requires that every time I do something, I will ask myself, can an AI do this actually faster, more efficient, higher level of correctness, right? So this morning, for example, I had to analyze all my engagement survey results. In the past, we would have done this all manual, right? Now this morning, I used an AI. To be honest, it did a much better job than me, because in the past I made mistakes when I translated the values and so on. And so I could actually focus myself on analyzing or interpreting the results. No? Then there's a layer which is around augmenting yourself. So how can I augment certain tasks I do? So can I, for example, apply an AI technology to do interviews, right? So you still do the interview, but you have the AI there to do a summary. And then there's something around differentiating yourself. So doing something completely different, like the clone, which I launched of myself, which is can now do, for example, onboarding, right? That's a completely differentiated skill. Now, each area will have that in different areas, but I think all of us need to start thinking, how do we do that? So in that new workforce, we will have humans and machines working together in collaboration, right? And I don't think about it from we will replace humans. I think the human is end to end. The AI is middle to middle, right? The AI can do, at least today, who knows next year, but can do certain parts of it. And so there, I think we should leverage it to the max, no?
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Yeah, so I think the keep the questions coming. I think there's many questions on the chat, but we've been trying to address them along the way. So I think let me move on to the last slide first, and then just keep the questions coming. So this is the timeline, as some of you have asked, right? This is the rough timeline that we have. As we said, that we are actually quite flexible. If let's say our business units come back with even more projects, sometime down the line, we would keep it on a rolling basis. But of course, we try to onboard everyone within the first quarter of next year, right? So this we've actually today is the day of the launch, right? You can indicate interest on this bottom left-hand corner, this QR code here. You can scan it and you would be directed to a Google form. You can fill in the form. We ask you a couple of questions on a little bit of the digital questions, but mainly it's really on your CV and your motivations to join us, right? Throughout the way, on a rolling basis, we'll be sending your profile to the relevant functional leaders, and we would start with some interviews as well. We would close applications on the 15th of November. So that gives you around 1 month to apply. But of course, as I mentioned, it's on rolling basis. So if you were to come to us sooner, it's also better as well. Right. So we would aim for the signing of the contract to be in the month of November and December. And the first batch of people would start their projects in January. As Larry has mentioned, we would have a little bit of AI training as well. It's going to be fundamental. It's not going to be definitely enough for your kind of a project. So it's a really self-learning kind of thing, but we aim to actually help everyone with a little bit of upskill on AI. So we will be sending out the invitation to the AI upskill courses to those who have been selected as well. But of course, throughout the way, then is that your prerogative to learn the skills from your colleagues and also externally, like on YouTube and all the relevant resources online, right? This program is estimated to end in June 2026. We have a little bit of leeway to end it in July if some of the managers need a little bit of time to close off the projects, but the official end date of the project is June 2026. So you can kind of estimate the time or plan for your time for these projects, right? Okay, so moving back to the chat, let's see if there's any other questions. Someone asked about the stipend including CPF. No, this is a project fee. So it is a contract for service and it would be a fixed fee. So there is no CPF. It's not an employee relationship with Unilever. Okay, Hassan asked whether there's any contract to sign. Yes, during these 6 months, yes, but you can engage other employment. As we said, this is not an employee relationship, so you can do whatever you want with your other free time. There is no limitation to that. But of course, I think one of the things would be if let's say you are working for a competitor, then that's a little bit trickier. And I think there should be a kind of a non-disclosure clause that you would sign with us as well, the NDA. Yeah. Yeah. Any opportunity to change to permanent? So that one is by needs basis. We won't be able to tell for sure. Right now it's engaged as a project based. But if who knows when if let's say in marketing team, if somebody resigns in the organization and there's a role that opens up and you happen to be suitable, there might be a higher chance of you taking the role as well. Yeah. So I think Andy's question on whether fractional workers are considered as employees, that has been answered. So you are considered as a more of a contractor. You'll be paid on a project basis. Yeah. So Vanessa asked whether it is possible to commence earlier depending on project demands. Yeah, I think it has happened before. Sometimes the line manager wants you to start immediately. If you are able to, you can as well. So we would help you to shift it. Yeah. So I think some people are asking for roles in specific domains. We do know that marketing, we have received at least, I think we have received three roles, projects from our line managers. Yeah, so digital marketing, definitely. Is there any certification issued? There is no official certification, even though some of the courses that we sign you up on, the AI ones, the service provider may provide you with certs, but Unilever doesn't issue a cert. Larry, correct me if I'm wrong.
Can you repeat? Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself.
Yeah, somebody asked if there would be certification issued at the end of the project. I mentioned that there will be the external courses may have, but Unilever, not sure.
I mean, we can issue like a certificate from Unilever that you have done this program. You can, for example, no issue if you update your LinkedIn profile, right? Saying that you are right now doing this at Unilever. That one you can do. We can give like a reference letter type of thing. So that's possible. Official certification. Yeah, if we do an external program which has it included from an external body, yes. From Unilever, I would say yes. You can have like a confirmation that you did the program, and you can update your LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody asked about interview rounds. There will be minimally one interview round, but sometimes the line manager might ask you to speak to, another, maybe a dotted line or another team member. So maybe two interviews. Yeah, but it really largely dependent on the manager's needs as well. Okay. Are we bound by any pre-termination clause? Yeah. So I think for this program, we would give at least a 1 month notice period. Generally, it's between 2 weeks to a month. Yeah. So that would be on both parties lah. So both sides, they can kind of terminate the contract early as well. Since this is a project, will the scope of work include team management duties or will it be on strategic and execution level? Generally, from the projects that we have received so far, it doesn't seem like there is much of team management, simply because it's a 2 day per week thing. It's gonna be not so easy to manage a team like that. But occasionally you might have some like dotted line people that you kind of manage in terms of running projects together, but no direct management. I think Larry can add on to that as well.
Yeah, so I think on my team, the person which I have now, Denise, she ended up working, for example, with my intern, because the intern is in Singapore and she needed a bit of guidance and so on. But so the intern would not report in the system or something to her, but did she take on the role of more like a leader because she's much more senior and knows, yes, right? So I think what can happen here is that there will be people on the team who might be more junior or who work with you on the project. You are then kind of take that natural leadership position. I don't think someone will say, okay, this person now reports to you, no?
Okay, thank you. I think most of the questions have been answered either verbally or in writing by Jess. Yes, great. All right. So I think we wait a couple more seconds if anybody wants to ask any questions. You can feel free to unmute as well if you want to ask.
Also, maybe you can give us inputs. You like the program, any tweaks you would make to it, right? This is the first time we are doing. So I think maybe you also have feedback. Is there anything you would like to have included? So we can still make some changes to it. So I would love to hear some feedback, or you can also put in the chat.
Yep. So Hassan asked, do the people here work as one team from this intake, or engagement comes from Unilever employees? Yes, definitely. The engagement is more for you to work with other Unilever employees within that team. But then as a cadence, it's a very good point that you brought up. What we find most successful in our past 2 runs is that the people who join the program, they should become friends as well. So we would run kopi chats, right? Coffee chats with one another, so that you can become each other's support system, because we know that it's not easy, starting something with a new company, knowing no one. So actually having this little group where you discuss, pointers with each other would be important. But generally you should be assigned a buddy within the organization, and work closely with them. Yeah.
Or you can go for lunches together, right? And exchange experiences and so. So I think it's super helpful. To do this, we can even think in, should there be one small project you guys do together? Can be, right? So if we get someone for each of the functions, there could be something we could think across. So it's possible. Right now it's not fully in the plan, but if that is something where once we have everyone on board, you say, no, this would be useful for me, then we can do that.
Yeah, great. So nice, very lovely seeing your comments. All right. Yep. So I think Kelly asked whether the deliverables for the project will be communicated and agreed from each
Will.
side. Yes, definitely will. Yeah.
But also, look, this is not, I mean, no one is getting a performance rating or bonus here at the end, okay? So this is a pilot program. Obviously, in a assignment like this, everyone wants to be successful. I assume people will join because they want to give their best. So yes, we will communicate that, but it's not like hard-coded goals. And if you don't achieve it, that's not the intention. The intention of this program right now is to understand, if we do this, is there value? Will the business like it? Is there good uptake and so on? So then we can continue that, right? Like the return program, we realized in the first year, it's valuable, it's working well. And so we continued it, right? Because we think there's no point in doing an initiative like that for 1 year. You need to then continue doing it and making it part of your resourcing strategy. And also then start inspiring other companies to do it, right? Because hopefully all of us one day will live in a world where many different models exist, right? So I don't know, I don't think I will do this corporate job forever. So I hope that once I decide not to, there will be opportunities like this and programs like this. So we also want to do this to inspire other employers that this is a an environment we want to create where every person in the world can find the type of work they actually enjoy doing, or how they want to do work. No.
Yeah. Juliana asked something. Perhaps we can address some of the earlier questions. Can you share what are the questions? We might have missed that out. Yeah. Vanessa asked whether, depending on project demands, will the team be working across functions and regional and HQ teams? If I'm not wrong, most of the managers are based in Singapore. There are some managers that might be overseas in Europe and all that. So there's a little bit of time zone difference.
But I think majority we try to have in Singapore.
Yeah.
Now, me, for example, right? I'm based in Singapore, but I have high amounts of travel. So the person who would come on my team, I will give them someone within my team in Singapore. But let's say you will also work with me. So then, whilst I'm officially based in Singapore, I might be on that business trip. We're going to connect here. So yes, in UI, I would say it is a much more flexible world when it comes to where is your manager. Don't expect that your manager is sitting next to you and watching what you are doing. So that is not how we operate. No, and that's why we are looking for people who are very self-driven, empowered. Let's say you can't reach your line manager today, you will still do something because you will want to add value. You will speak to the team. What can I do, etc. No.
Yeah, I think there were some questions asking about the specific projects. I think, Larry, do you want to take some of that? We have received some of the projects, but it's on
We
the
have
way.
some.
So,
Yeah. So what we are now thinking is, if you could apply to the function you are most interested in, or if not there, then let us know what you would like to do. We will then share these project briefs. We are not 100% there yet with all of them. But for example, for HR, if you want, I can share my project briefs, the ones we have received, Canning. I'm
Yeah.
okay if we want to put them into a PDF and share with everyone.
Yeah. So I think altogether we currently have 7. We have a budget to go up to 10, I think. So we are still opening it up to more managers to submit their proposals.
Travel, I think I don't think so. Would be part of it by exception, I would say. Maybe to someplace nearby or but not necessarily. Digital product design role, yeah, would be great to get someone. Happy to add that to the list.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we've covered pretty much almost all the questions. Yeah. All right. I think we are good here. Yeah, I think some people are kind of sending more questions. So I think what Joanne's asked about, what about thought leadership? Not very sure what that specifically means. Kelly asked, well, how big is the project team? I think it really depends on the function. That we don't have a fixed answer for that. It depends on which team you're joining as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good here. So thanks everyone for joining us on this value in, value out info session. So feel free to scan this QR code to apply to the program, or drop us a message as well on returnship@thecouragechapter.com, and we would get back to you as well. Yeah. So I think for those who think that your friends might be interested in something like this, we have another info session tomorrow. Please feel free to send them the link as well. So the same link that you signed up on, you can forward them to your friends. All right, awesome. And Jess just mentioned the link to the application form. So you can click into the link here or scan the QR code. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and happy Diwali for those who celebrate. Yeah, and thank you, Larissa, for spending your time with us today as well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.